Hello everybody, welcome back to some Fallout 4. Picking up from last time, you may be able to already tell that in front of me and beside me, I have built a little more. So as you can see, I did set up some defensive turrets. I prefer to use these ones. They're the heavy machine gun, I want to say, is what they're called. Yeah, the heavy machine gun turret. And the reason why I like them is because while not the most powerful ones there are, they don't take any power to use. And not to mention, you only need rank 1 in gun nut to have them. And then as you can see, I have a couple of them set up. I built walls here. I built this place here that I plan on using for my weapons and armor merchant. Because, nice big walls. I can set up displays, I'll probably have this side be like the armor merchant, so I can set up a bunch of mannequins, and this side be the weapons merchant, since most of the guns go along the wall. I finished clearing out all the houses. I don't know if I had that done last time. I have my other marketplace here built and ready to go. I just, obviously need the people to run the market. And then I have this set up here. Now, you might be wondering why I bothered putting defenses here. So, if you don't know, every settlement in Fallout 4 can be attacked. And I think I said this before, that as long as you show up for the attack quickly, they'll spawn outside and come in, whereas otherwise they might just spawn them inside. And then if they spawn rad scorpions, they can tunnel underground and come inside anyway. But every location has spawn points for the attacks. So for Sanctuary, there's one just across the main bridge. And then, obviously they cross the bridge to come in. There's one just over here. I can't remember if it's on this side or the other side, but either way, it's somewhere around this little shitty bridge here, which means they come in through here. And then the last one is over there. And I'll show you in a second. I don't think I built anything else, in all honesty. Man, thought I had way more built, but no, I don't think that I... No, because I did have that. Yeah, so I don't think I had anything else built. I'm not quite sure if I had the... Yeah, I did, because I remember jumping over it. But the other spawn point is over here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. I think it's like next to this big tree here, if I'm not mistaken. And normally, I do it up big, where I go, once again, if you saw my build in chat from forever ago, you would see what I normally do, which is, I go from here, I go all the way down to where the water line is, and then I basically rebuild a wall all the way along here, and I have spotlights, turrets. Basically, it makes it look like a fucking prison, right? Didn't decide to do that this time because it takes a long time, and I'm already spending way more time in between videos than I want to. But yeah, basically I have it set up to be ready to get people. Now, Sanctuary, another thing that we'll learn about later are the synths. And one of the features, I guess you could call it, and we are going to Concord, by the way, I guess you could call it in this game, is that your settlers can be taken over. Oh, and then here's Red Rocket. I cleared it all out. Got rid of everything that I could, and then I just basically rearranged my crafting station, so it's in here. And then I got the 3 magazines that we have on the magazine rack. I don't have anything in there, but in here I decided to put... So Burnt Fashion Magazine, Burnt Lifestyle Magazine, and folders, you can't do anything with. Literally nothing. And then Burnt Books, you also can't do anything with. Put them in there. But over here, I have basically all the other stuff that we pick up, like the holotapes, other documents, and that. And then I threw all my Your Special books into there because I had 54 of them. I'll probably rearrange that a little bit so that the holotapes are separate from the documents and everything, and maybe move it so the games are once again separate from the other stuff. But for the moment, it's fine. I thought so. these things. They are normally very hard to hit, but normally that's because I'm not paying attention and I just kind of like walk up on them. And once they've seen you and start like flying around, good God, are they a pain. So this is Concord. This will probably take us a couple parts to get through just because it's such a big space. And while there isn't like a lot of good stuff here, and most of it's all in one location, there's a lot of different locations here. So like, for example, we have this house here immediately beyond entering the town from Sanctuary, and it's just like your standard layout house with a dog opening the door. We got a Nuka-Cola Quantum in there. I don't know if you guys will care about that. It is somewhat considered a collectible, but it was considered collectible. I think that there's a quest or something you can do with them later. I'm not 100% on that. Obviously, we'll get to it at some point. If it is, there's also a safe in here. But it was considered a collectible, more or less, like a pseudo-collectible, when the game first came out, because there was a limited amount of them. But then with the Nuka-Cola DLC, I'll leave the other ones. I don't want to carry too much with me. I'll pick up what I want, and then I'll come back to clear it out later. But then with the Nuka World DLC, they did add Nuka-Cola mixing stations, and I do believe that you can make your own Nuka-Cola Quantum, so they became a little bit less like a collectible. Obviously, finding them is still the easiest way to get it, but also we're about to get into a rather large fight here, which we will have to do like immediately, just because it's a giant pain not to. And
still kicking? Jesus!
yeah, but you're not. So I'm going to take the stuff from the raiders, because depending on how quickly we get back here, okay, don't quite know how all those missed.
Up here, on the balcony.
Uh-huh.
The settlers inside. The raiders are almost through the door. Grab that laser musket and help us, please.
Okay, I will grab the laser musket, but it has nothing to do with you. So that's Preston Garvey. If you know anything about Fallout 4, you probably know him. Oh, there's still somebody shooting. Oh, whoops. So yeah, this here is the laser musket. They're fucking shitty. So yeah, you actually need to reload the gun to fire it. Now here's the thing, and why they're shitty. That's why. And there you go. They do a lot of damage.
Stay there.
Whoop.
On me.
But the fact that you have to charge them up kind of sucks, and you can upgrade them. They make pretty decent long range, like if you get like scopes and that on, they make pretty decent sniper rifles. But overall, you just have so many other better options, like guns that you can just fire. We'll do all the outside locations right now, and then see how much time we have left, and we might pop into one or two of the smaller inside locations. We'll save the Museum of Freedom for next part, and we'll focus on like outdoors Concord. So yeah, you have like this little bar here. It's a big place. I think there's even a mod that lets you have it as a settlement, which, that would be a giant pain in the ass.
Lock's really strong.
An expert lock safe. I'm not sure can even. Oh, but you know what? Whoosh. We can now unlock them. Also, the last rank of both locksmith and hacker, I do believe, are fairly worthless. Hacker more so, just because like the last perk of hacker just makes it so that I can't. I always have a hard time remembering exactly what it is. It's basically if you fail, it takes less time before you can access it again or something. Or if you like you get one extra try if you fail or something. I don't know. Either way, it's pointless because of how they have that hacking implemented. As you can see, backyards, not a whole lot here. And I can't remember. Let's just check because I don't remember what the last. Yeah, your bobby pins never break during lockpicking. But like I said, by the time you reach level, I think that's at 41 that you need to unlock that. Just ridiculous. You're gonna have so many bobby pins, it does not matter. But yeah, as you can see, a bunch more boarded up houses. For the most part, if you can't, like, if you find like a door to a house and you can't go in it, you're not going to be able to get into it. Like, you're not gonna like see a door like this, but be able to go around back and get into that building. I don't think there's any buildings like that. If there is, there's so few that I don't remember any of them. We'll leave the church for now because I do believe that there's one more house we can go into over here. Is there not? Not that one. Oh, also, by the way, even though that quest is called like out of time or something, you have all the time in the world. Oh, look, another minute man. So you can see the Minutemen that were escorting the other settlers that Preston has in there. They didn't quite make it. Also, that must be Carla. If I had to guess, that's probably Trash Can Carla. Yeah. She's just a traveling merchant. There's nothing. There's no reason to go talk to her. We'll see her later. She hangs out in Sanctuary a lot once you start bringing settlers in. I thought there was another house this way that you could enter, but obviously not. These are all boarded up so that you can't get in. Good place for fusion cells, though, if you want to go and loot that Minuteman that's down there. This here's the church. You know what? I was gonna say I think that there's a quest where that involves this church, but you know what? That might be a different church. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's a different church because it's over by Diamond City. But yeah, as you can see, now this is one of those things, right, where the bombs fell. I'm fine with those two sitting at like they were in church. The bombs fell, right? I find it hard to believe that this guy would have fell over that way, because I mean, it like he would have got hit by the blast, right, and it definitely would have knocked him over. But yeah, we can go up here. There's another hunting rifle, which is good because the hunting rifle is your sniper. Upgrade it to get it to a proper sniper rifle, obviously. And you also have a safe. Oh. Now, sadly enough, even though, like I said, it's such a big place, and it's a fairly important place story-wise. I mean, it's the first, like, big city-ish place that you come to in the game, assuming you don't take some really weird path from Vault 111 to bypass it, you know. Yeah, that's fine. Over here. Now, this should lead us... up to the top, and I want to say that there's another gun or something. Can see a crashed vertibird though. It's interesting. Maybe it's on the other side of it. Unfortunately, we can't use the vertibird to get like onto the roof. That would be cool if you could do that and like bypass the Museum of Freedom. And now the reason I say it would be cool if you could do that, and I mean you almost can, like you could almost make that, and it wouldn't surprise me if you could. But the thing is, right? If you miss and you go off, that's gonna hurt. But the reason I say that it would be cool to do that is because the survivors, you have to work your way up this place. I mean, you have to work your way around the place, I guess might be more accurate, because there isn't too much upwards to go. It's only a 2-story building. And the dog may have just fell off the roof. Thankfully, though, companions in this game, immortal. They cannot die. They can go down, but they can't die. Yeah, dog fell off the roof because he beat me down here. Anyway, hardware store. You may, remember this from our battle where we had some dickheads fighting us. As you can see, not a whole lot in here either. Because unfortunately, most of the good stuff, or well, not most of the good stuff, because depending on what you want to do, like there is a lot of like fuses, honestly, very good for building and that. We have table knives, everything. We have a lot of stuff for crafting and settlement building out and about. But as for like unique items that are outside of like load zones, like are just out in the open part of Concord, there's nothing. Like there's not a single damn thing that's out here that's at all unique. It's all just random junk, basically. You get some bullets, you get some weapons, you get some ammo. But overall, the outdoors part of Concord, the streets, are fairly worthless. You got some toothpaste there. And it really is. That's the speakeasy again. There's 2 entrances to that. It really is such a waste. Like, you have such a big area. It's, once again, the first one that you come to in general in the game. We also have this burned out building. I don't even know what the hell it's supposed to be. Unless it does have a, I don't know, maybe just an apartment or something. No, this definitely was a shop down here at the very least. But yeah, you come here, you have the raiders, you have the guys in the museum, and like I said, the museum is a rather large place. Yeah, so this was a shop where they lived upstairs. I think I would enjoy that. Owning just like a little store somewhere with like the like your bedroom in that upstairs. I think that would be nice. I think that I would enjoy living like that. And then yeah, there's like almost nothing in the city itself. I mean, duct tape, bone cutter. This will open up later, and that'll give us access to another indoor area. Underground, whatever. What is this one? That's the workhouse. I don't even remember what's in that one. And yeah, that's another thing as well. I think there's actually something with this. I think there's like a Nuka-Cola or something in here, or am I thinking of a different one yet again? I may be thinking of a different one yet again. Yeah. That's the other thing about this place, right? It has like, I want to say 4 or 5 indoor areas, like separate load zones. Like you have the speakeasy, you have the workhouse. Oh, we can go into this house. Also, the fact that you hit Y to jump in this game is really fucking me over, because like I was playing Relicta, I think. I finally finished that, by the way. Really good. Really fucking enjoyed it, and the DLCs. I mean, The one DLC was better story-wise than the other because it took place after the main game instead of before. But either way, it was still really good. Metal bucket, sequin dress. Want to wear that? Excuse me, dog. Dog. Uh, safe in this building. But yeah, I think it was Relicta. I kept trying to, because obviously most games, A is jump. I was hitting Y, and including Relicta, A is jump. I was hitting Y so fucking much while I was playing that game to try and jump. Like, I'd come up to something and hit Y. Now, thankfully, I guess this one didn't have it upstairs. Now, thankfully, Relicta, Y button doesn't do anything. At all. Like, literally, it does nothing. So I just hit the button and my character would stand there. And since it's not like a combat-heavy game or a platformer, really, it's fine. I say really because, like, while there is platforming, there's no, like, rush to it, you know? What's this one? Yeah. But yeah, you have the workhouse, you have the Museum of Freedom, you have the Speakeasy. I want to say that there's another indoor area that I'm forgetting that's like a donut shop or some shit, but once again, I may be confusing it with a different city. Burnt out buildings, you know, believe it or not an uncommon sight in the Commonwealth and in Fallout 4. I want to say we might have one more house we can go into. Oh, we haven't even went up there yet. Oh, yeah, here's this house here. So another good thing about this is actually this place back here. The settler there, right? That where that guy is actually a spawn point for a random encounter. Now, random encounters in this game, fucking dog, man. This is why I don't keep the dog with me. He likes to get like right up in your face. The other companions, they might get in your road a little bit when you're trying to go through a doorway or something, but you know what? They're not always directly in your face. What was I talking about? Oh, right, random encounters. So there's a couple different kinds of random encounters or random events. There's
nice
ones like this one that are like I don't know if they actually have names, and I don't know that there's actually like separate counting for them either. But I call them like stationary ones, where it's a location and something will be happening at that location, right? It's like we have this settler here.
Oh boy, you may want to keep your distance.
Why? Are you threatening me?
Nah, nothing like that. It's just, well, I think I ate a bad can of meat. Okay, maybe it was 3 cans. Seemed pretty tasty at first, but now it's got my guts all in a twist. And, well, you can probably smell it from there. Longneck Lukowski's canned meat my ass. Longneck Lukowski's canned poison, more like it. Here, have the rest of it. I'm never touching the stuff again as long as I live. Assuming I live through the day. Ugh. And if you happen to see that Lukowski, tell him I hope he dies in a goddamn fire. Ugh. God. Sorry. Probably better if you get going. If it's anything like last time, it's about to get kind of messy.
Okay, so I've actually never had this encounter before because there's like a million of them. And this place here, I'm not gonna lie, not the best at resetting encounters. Yeah, it's very rare. But what he was just alluding to is actually another quest that you can do in this game. And not only that, it is a quest that is fairly important to anybody who likes to build up settlements because it actually unlocks one of the special merchant traders. But anyway, stationary events or stationary random encounters are ones like that where there's a group or a person at a location and that's that. And then there's patrols, which, you know, sound like they should be hostile, but they're not always, which generally spawn like at a location on a road and then move. And there's a different location that's very good for spawning those, which is unfortunately how you get a lot of the better merchants. Big info dump this episode, by the way, in case you haven't caught on yet. So the way that the merchants in this game work is every merchant that's just out and about has a fucking wild. I hate wild mut fruit because mut fruit is something you can plant in your settlements, but you can't use wild mut fruit, whatever, to plant it. But anyway, the ones that you can recruit into your settlement have different tiers. So there's like the basic tier, which when you assign them to a shop, they'll give you a little bit of stuff. It's not much, but it's something, right? But there are, and that's basically like any settler, right? Like any settler that you assign to a shop will obviously become a merchant. And by the way, we're in the workhouse. Which there's no unique items in here either. And they'll sell like random crap based on what you assign them to. And it's useful, but not very, you know. But there are specific merchants in the game that you can also, by the way, keep a subway token on you at all times. Just one. Certain merchants, they're like tier 4 merchants or something. So here's the thing, right? When you're building a merchant stand, you have tier 1, 2, and 3 stalls that you can build, right? And then if you assign a settler to them, they will become a tier 1, 2, or 3 merchant based on what stall. But there are certain people that you can recruit, and if you assign them to a tier 3 merchant stand, they will actually become a tier 4 merchant. These are generally got through quests or random encounters, and they all are named. But just because somebody's name doesn't mean, and you can recruit them, doesn't mean that they can become a tier 4 merchant. Now, a couple of them you get through random encounters. Some of them require... Oh yeah, also, see this? There's no way that this happened and that they died that quickly. That nothing, like that they didn't change positions when the bombs fell. But yeah, some of them you get through quests. The one for that quest with Long Neck, or whatever the fuck you called him, Lukowski. I do believe that that's that's a general merchant one. So as far as I can remember, there's a single tier 4 weapons, arms, armor, and medic, right? But then there's like 3 or 4 tier 4 general merchants. Oh, and then there's also clothing, because there's armor and then there's clothing, which are 2 separate ones. And there's a tier 4 merchant for both of those. I think there's only one for each. Only one for medic. And as you can see, there's dick all on the roof of the workhouse. You can get up here with a little bit of finagling with like the jetpack, and you can get some stuff or some armor later that lets you survive falls from greater heights. You can use this vantage point to obviously start a whole trip where you land over there. Because as you can see, there is a few things on the roof. I think there's a gun and an amp box. I think if you get the jetpack, you can make it onto that roof, but I don't really remember what's in it, if you can even get in there. But yeah, so tier 4 merchants, very good. Every tier 4 merchant has something unique that they sell that obviously relates to them. I think the clothing merchant still sells like a couple pieces of legendary armor. which in this game isn't all that legendary. But there's a way to bugger around with legendary stuff as well, and make sure you get what you want. This should be the speakeasy. So we'll pop in here, we'll get this stuff, and then we'll probably call it. But yeah, the tier 4 merchants, they have more money and everything, and it is fairly worth it. Yeah, I'm definitely not pulling out all this stuff right now. But yeah, it's definitely worth it to recruit them. Some of them are easier to recruit than others. A couple of them, like I want to say the merchant at the very, or not the merchant, the medic. Merchant. The medic at the very. Oh, actually, yeah, I'll take the right away. So. The medic at the very least, I do believe, requires you to. I don't have a chess piece. Like, you know what? We'll toss those on. Just have the full set instead of the raider stuff. What was I saying now? Oh, right. The medic, I do believe, requires you to have 30 settlers. Not in one location, obviously, because, again, theoretically, the maximum amount of settlers you can have at any location. As you can see, a bunch of empty beer bottles and that. I mean, a lot of... Wow, dog. All right. So it's a good place to get a lot of glass. Because if you don't know, a speakeasy is... during Prohibition, when alcohol wasn't allowed, they would just build rooms in the back of other buildings where people could go, where people who knew about it could go in and drink. So, you know, Prohibition did nothing except make more people technically break the law so that they could have some booze. Because just because you make something illegal doesn't mean people are going to stop, especially if it's something that was legal beforehand. But yeah, there's I want to say there's another one, and it's not even, and I'm not sure if it's you require that amount of settlers. Because I want to say that there's somebody who also requires 20 settlers at one settlement or something weird like that. Oh yeah, this guy was apparently sleeping with a mannequin. Oh, he's got the comfy pillow. Oh, he's also drugs. Alright, yeah. Oh, wow. Alright, well, this doesn't look fucking creepy at all, as all hell. I will take a machete, actually. Thank you very much. Skull in the toilet, why not? Just some more booze. I think that's as high as we can go in this place. I think there is another floor to it, but I don't think we can't obviously get up there. Oh, wrong room. But yeah, there's also a couple of merchants, the tier 4 merchants, that all you have to do is find them and talk to them, and you can just be like, hey, you want to come back to the settlement? And they're like, yeah, why not? Oh yeah, also, I think this is one of the Pulowski Preservation Shelter. So yeah, basically, if the alarms went off and you couldn't get into one of the vaults, you're just basically supposed to run in here. Yeah, and it was supposed to stop you from dying from the radiation and everything. I think they had those. They had some of those in Fallout 3 as well. But anyway, that'll be. We'll take a quick look back here. I don't think there's anything, but we'll take a quick look anyway. All right. So yeah, that'll be everything for this part. Like I said, not really anything unique on the out. It's a big area. There's a lot of indoor spaces, like both load zone spaces and just indoors. And yet they decided to put basically nothing there. There is a few unique things in here. Like we'll get a few. Like I think we'll get a couple more. Like I think we'll get another game, a couple more magazines. One of the bobbleheads even. Uh, but it's like all. I think all of it, or at least most of it, is inside the Museum of Freedom here. And then once that other area opens up, which won't happen until we complete the Museum of Freedom, um, we'll gain access to the last one or two unique things. There's at least one unique thing down there. I don't. Maybe there. I think there's just. I don't know. Either way, it's a giant. They really wasted a lot of space here with it. But yeah, so that's more or less Concord. And everything in it. Like I said, a bunch of random loot, bunch of junk, nothing super important. But if you're somebody like me who enjoys the crafting, enjoys the settlement building, it is a fairly good place to clear out with a lot of building materials. But thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday for more.